Hey! Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
For those of you new here, this is a podcast by us, the Loomer Brothers. I'm Preston Loomer.
I'm Nathan Loomer.
And we talk about movies. And we decided, in the spirit of, I don't know, Nate was in a mood, we're going to watch a bunch of old movies.
Yep.
So the rule is that the movies we watch today have to be older than our parents. And we picked 4 different eras, so 50s, 40s, 30s, and then basically anything that was silent.
It is silent. Which I think we both did 20s anyways. So.
Yeah, basically. I think yours is like late 20s, mine's early 20s. Oh, and he's gone again. We out.
The fan was on. It's hot, but I don't want the...
I can't hear it, so I don't know if it matters. Turn the fan back on. I can edit white noise out. I'd rather you not just be like a sweaty mess.
I already am, but that's okay.
This is me all day. I was in... God, what was it? I had an audition on Tuesday, and I legitimately got into the... Like, I was waiting for so long in this, like, sunlit window that when I got in the room, I just was, like, sweat. I looked like I just gotten out of the shower. I was like, I am so gross right now. And I gotta play this scene really earnestly.
Oh my god.
And my shirt and my underwear is sticking to my body.
It's very wet.
Too much detail. Yeah, so Nate, let's see. We picked a whole bunch. There's 8 this time because we did 2 extras because we wanted those silent films. Nate picked... What'd you pick?
Okay, I picked The General from 1920s, 20-something. Duck Soup from 1930s. Notorious from 1940s, and A Touch of Evil from 1950s. I have them all up somewhere. But...
And then you didn't pick A Touch of Evil because we changed it because
oh my god,
it's younger than Mom.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
So we changed it. We changed it to the Wells Othello, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I picked a different. So I watched both because I watched it before we changed it.
Yeah, I did the same thing. It's fine.
So,
I only know it because I was doing research after I took my notes, and I was like, wait a minute. I picked Nosferatu. What else did I pick? The Third Man and Shane. And I got reasons for all of it. No one understands.
Oh!
I don't know which one we should start with.
Do we just do it from oldest to
newest? Let's do it. I think the oldest.
Forth?
I think Nosferatu's the oldest.
Nosferatu's the oldest.
So for the 10,000th time.
Yes.
Without trying to, I picked a vampire movie. And I didn't even think about it. I literally was like, oh, that's my favorite silent movie. Let's go. And then realized like 10 minutes later, I was like, God, it's another fucking... I did the math. We have picked a vampire movie 1 out of every 3 episodes.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Now,
yeah.
it's 1 in 4 if you don't count that we did all of the Twilights at the same time.
Okay, I'll count that. But still, it's still pretty much.
Yeah. Nosferatu is a German horror film from the 1920s based on the novel Dracula, but not legally affiliated for reasons. Basically, the director said, hey, I want to make your book into a movie, and Bram Stoker's estate said, fuck yourself.
No, but he's like,
he's like, fine, I'll change all the names and just do it anyway. I legitimately cannot take this movie seriously. I don't know why everyone says it's so scary, and it makes me laugh so hard all the time.
It's funny to me because there's 2 versions now. There's like the updated kind of color. Like
there's the like
and white.
I think is that Werner? I think that's Werner Herzog who did the remake.
And I tried both, and both of them are just as equally not scary.
I gotta go watch the new one because I haven't seen it, and I also gotta watch Shadow of the Vampire. It's like nowhere.
I can't find it either.
You can't even rent the freaking thing. I was like, what the heck?
I was talking about Lola. I'm like, you have to pirate it or something.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna probably have to go to one of those stupid sites that I don't ever really go to, except whenever I'm like, oh man, I gotta watch Showgirls and nobody's got it.
Yeah, I have to watch Dogma and I can't.
Yeah, you're never gonna
buy it. I'm not gonna buy it, so again.
I literally watched Dogma through 6 different YouTube videos that put it up in pieces. God. And they overlapped in places, so I like rewatched scenes.
Oh my god!
Because Kevin Smith basically said like, no, I'm not giving Harvey Weinstein money. I was like, you go, man.
I do Nosferatu. I love his design in general, though. As goofy as the movie is.
Yeah, they got the vampire in this to look pretty good. Yeah, no, and Max, and I guess Max Shrek was weird as shit and just basically didn't break character like
Yeah.
the whole time. Also, then they named a Batman villain played by Christopher Walken Max Shrek, and so I always like get confused.
It's gotta be some resemblance.
I saw one that said Max Shrek, and then it had Nosferatu, but it was colored like Shrek the Ogre with a Mad Max like that mask that he wears when he's on the front of the truck.
God.
I was like, God, that's it. I will say, even between this and the general, there is a distinct gain in quality when you get to the general. Like
In
this
the
thing
4
looks,
years. Yeah.
holy crap, this thing looks like shit.
Yeah, I thought that too. Like these movies are only 4 years apart, and this one's so much worse.
Yeah. I mostly just like the whole time I was taking notes, just cracked vampire jokes the whole time because I was like, I just can't. There's so much that goes on in this that I just am like, what is this?
At the same time, I had a really hard time writing down notes because I was like, it's Dracula. Like
Yeah.
I can't just explain the plot of Dracula with a different guy. Like,
I've seen Dracula. We've literally seen two versions of Dracula.
We've seen Dracula.
The one that I thought was, so first off, the guy who plays Harker in this looks just like you, and it freaked me out.
Harker?
Yeah, well, he's not Harker in the
Hutter.
movie. He's
Hutter.
the guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
The guy who goes to the castle at first.
Yeah.
They gave them all different names, and I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't refer to any of them by what their names are in this movie because I was like, no, I've read the book. I'm just going to call them Mina and Jonathan and Dracula, and I know that's not their names.
I kind of see him looking like me now.
In the movie, he really does.
I never noticed because it's like when I didn't know who Evan Peters was. People were like, you look like, I'm like, I don't know who that is for like a million years.
That was me with Thomas Sanders for like 2 years. All these kids were like, you look like that Vine guy. And I was like, what Vine guy?
What Vine guy? I don't know what
I
Vine.
don't watch Vine, man. I'm old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I can always tell what like age someone is by which celebrity with a big nose they say I look like. It's usually,
Right.
you know, boomers are here, and then Gen X and millennials have this one, and
Everybody loves Raymond.
yeah, all the time, all the time.
Oh.
And now everyone at home is like, "Oh, he does look like everybody loves Raymond." Bell a little bit." Even the people on the audio are like, "Oh yeah, I see that. I visualize it."
I hear him.
You can also visualize a young Al Pacino,
Yeah.
which is, you know, basically any Italian guy with a decently large schnoz. That's what I look like. And Nate looks like everybody's celebrity crush from the 50s.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't know.
I love that. I do. Thank you. What?
Yeah. So yeah. So Bram Stoker's estate said, no, you can't make Dracula. So they changed all the names and basically did it, and somehow have a more book accurate version of this movie than any other version of this fucking movie.
I watched that video on YouTube of somebody going through all of them and talking about that, and that this might be like second closest to the book out of anything made ever in the like last 80 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean the Francis Ford Coppola one is like
It's
very
very
on,
close,
but there's still some stuff, especially the Vlad the Impaler stuff that they add. I will say, yeah, Dracula looks scary as shit in this. Or Orlok, I think is what they call him.
Yes, Orlok.
It made me think though. I was like, one, this is a lot of German to read, especially because the silent movie they just put sub cards up. You're like, here's a fuck ton of information, and then because it's in German, we got to subtitle the written shit.
You might not be getting what you think it is.
About halfway through, I was like, I'm an English teacher, and this is too much reading. Like I did not come to just like read the book.
Oh my gosh. And then the fact that I kept forgetting, I kept calling him Nosferatu. That's just the name of the movie. There's nobody in the movie called Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, I think, is German for like undead or Walking Dead or something like that. Yeah, it literally is just like vampire.
Vampire. Okay.
But vampire is vampire, so I don't know what. Yeah, I think Nosferatu is like the Living Dead or something like that.
Got it. I'll look it up later.
Yeah, just a lot of. Oh my gosh, Okay, so I have three things. One, they're making a Dracula movie with Nicolas Cage. It's a comedy, and I want to see it.
Yes.
I don't know anything about it.
I'll watch anything with him.
I was like, yes, please. And I saw a picture of him in the makeup, and I was like, yes.
The fact that Nicolas Cage has been in two of my favorite movies I've seen this year, and one of them he was just playing himself, is...
God, yeah, right? That had no right to be that good.
No.
We're not talking about that, though. The other one is I just was like halfway through it. I was like, man, you know, what'd be really funny is if they pop a Dracula movie in and you're expecting him to do all the like I'm Dracula, and he just talks like Colin Robinson from What We Do in the Shadows.
Hi there.
Hey man, did you know that the Aboriginal
really
snakes?
cool.
God, have you seen some? Have you seen the new season stuff?
I've seen all the new seasons so far. I love it.
I'm like,
It's the
I
best
just want
part of that show.
he's like new baby Groot, and it's the best thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The one thing that gets me with this is it looks like it is broad ass daylight the whole
The
movie.
whole time they did not shoot at night. They
The part where he is walking in the middle of the street carrying his own casket in broad ass daylight, and like everyone's watching him. I was like, what is this, Dracula's moving company? Like, what the fuck is going on?
God, that's exactly what I thought. On the boat, I swear it's supposed to be nighttime,
And
it's
then he
not.
dies from sunlight. That's the part that this is
That's the thing.
this is the movie. This is where vampires die by sunlight started. This was the thing that did it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. Also, he's out in the fucking sun
All day.
the whole time.
All fucking day. Oh my god, I love it.
I just, yeah.
It's you should watch it. Everyone should watch it at some point.
Yeah, it's I mean, don't take it. Everyone is like, this is the scariest silent movie of all time. No, it's not. It's way too goofy. There's so much goofy crap that happens, and you just, if you accept that it's not like serious in any way, it's the best. Also, apparently there's an edit that plays it at 1.5 speed, and I really want to find it.
Oh my god.
Because it's already like 80 minutes long, so I'm going, that's an hour of just like super speed vampires waddling around. They also, this is a fun fact, this might be the least, it's up there for potentially the least expensive movie ever made.
Oh.
They don't have a budget on it, but they suspect,
nothing.
given how behind the scenes, like, I don't remember what the director was, but the guy who made it basically was cutting every corner he could, and they said he probably spent less than like $1,000 in total.
You know, at least he didn't make Manos Hands of Fate or something with that budget.
That movie, we need to get that on the podcast.
We'll get there. We'll get it there.
I also just want Christopher Walken as Dracula now, and that's the whole time I was watching this movie. I was like, man, could you just imagine? Hey, I'm Dracula.
Dracula.
I can't do more than 2 words as Walken without it just
lose
crashing.
It immediately. That's how it goes.
Yeah. So this is our 14th vampire movie.
Okay.
Out of how, I don't remember how many we've watched. It's like 1 for every 3 podcasts.
One day we'll revisit all of them and call it the the vampire podcast.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, there's just it's goofy, it's fun. I love it both as a horror fan and as a fan of movies that are so bad that they're hilarious.
Yes.
And I would say it's not bad. It's not like
It's not The Room.
it is not in any way like the stuff that's going on in it for the time works really well.
I'm sure amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure it was horrifying in the 20s.
Yeah.
I've seen The Conjuring now. This doesn't even come close.
No.
I just watched Black Phone. That movie scared the shit out of me. I don't jump at anything. Like, I watch like jump scares. I'm just like, yeah, cool. That one made me jump 3 times. I was like, damn, son of a God, stupid kids, fucking hell.
Kids are scariest.
Kids are the scariest.
Babadook. Forget Babadook. The kid in Babadook.
Yeah. Oh man. Just that screaming. Yeah, child. No.
Little monster. Oh.
Should make you watch the Babadook.
I've seen it now like 7 times.
I've seen it so much. Everybody keeps it's the same deal. Everyone's like, scariest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, no.
No, not
That's
even close.
That's my new favorite game, is to take what's the scariest movie you've ever watched and me watch it and be like, it's all right.
It's okay.
My absolute favorite one was The Village. Colton Kolbaba was like, scariest movie of my life. This was like, he was like a freshman in high school at this point. But we went over and watched it and I was like, The Village, of all the M. Night Shyamalan things you picked the one that's like literally just not scary the whole time.
Yeah, not scary at all.
Okay.
And then the twist makes it less scary, and it's just a normal movie. Do you have a most scary movie of all time?
I'm trying to think of the ones that got me. Scary for me is different because it's the one, like, I don't get scared watching it. I get like freaked out later.
That's it.
Us was pretty creepy. I
Mhm.
remember Us stuck with me for a while. Hereditary was pretty good. Halloween. Um,
Halloween scares me.
yeah, and everything that the Daily Wire has made is terrifying. What
Yes.
is a Woman was just a nightmare. I was
Ooh.
slept for days. I
Uh,
also bootlegged that because I was not paying the Daily Wire to watch that
oh
fucking
my god.
disaster.
Nothing freaks me out more afterwards than Stepford Wives for some reason. I
Ooh,
don't know why
I
that
don't know if I've
movie's
watched
concept
Stepford.
freaks me out.
Is that the
I
old one or
watched
the?
it, the old one. I watched
Yeah.
it when I was 8 or something, no,
Oh yeah.
7, because Jake put it on when I was over at the McEwen, and I couldn't sleep that night.
You know what movie actually scared the heck out of me when I was a kid?
What?
Jumanji.
Jumanji. That makes
Jumanji
sense.
freaked me out.
That's a very. I
Also,
understand that.
the behind the scenes documentary of the Backstreet Boys "Everybody Backstreet's Back" video,
Oh my
because they're all
god.
dressed up like monsters, and I was like 6, and I was like,
Uh,
ah!
and why? Why? Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I became a horror fan who stopped being afraid of shit.
That's it. That's good.
Yeah, and now I'm just afraid of like actual things like World War III and taxes.
Yeah, that's the thing. War movies might freak me out more.
Oh man, oh man. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's
Speaking of war, let's get it on.
let's get it on.
The general.
Like, yeah, that we just got demonetized. Great.
Mm.
For me singing Marvin Gaye, not
Oh,
for any of the other stuff we've
you
seen.
get
It's
5
literally
seconds.
it's the copyright stuff.
I thought it was like the war. Did I say the war?
I don't know if you watch Game Changer on College Humor. It's the game show where they change the game every time.
Yeah.
They had this one which was say something we can't say or we can't say on air, but they own their own network, so they can like
Yeah.
curse like crazy. Except they so one guy just started singing "Hey Jude" by the Beatles because he's like, I know you can't afford the Beatles.
Oh my god. I love
And then another one just read out her boss's social security number on camera.
Right.
This is what I will say: without Buster Keaton, there would be no Jackie Chan.
No.
There would be none of these guys that we think of as like grand physical comedians. I mean,
Mm-mm.
he pioneered that
He's
stuff.
the man. He is the most influential person of the old movie period
Yeah,
to now.
and
Charlie
also
Chaplin
like
did stuff, but man.
yeah, and like we give Tom Cruise crap, but people doing their own stunts and you watching them
Yeah.
do it is really cool.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
I
just can't-
genuinely think that Tom Cruise just was like, I'm gonna make an excuse that I have to do this stunt just because I want to learn how to fly an airplane.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Oh my
just because I
God.
want to learn
Yeah.
how to skydive by myself.
Just gotta do it.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Um,
But there's
I've,
stuff in this movie I can't believe, like the train crashing on the bridge. It took me a second even to be like, really? Holy crap!
yeah,
I don't know.
just they actually did most of the stuff you watch in this. I did not. I've seen this movie 4 times. I just this time figured out that they're the Confederates,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh crap, we're rooting for the racists.
For the races, I read that after I watched it. Like, oh.
Halfway through, I was like, I keep wanting to be like, yes, get those. That's the guys I like.
No.
I was joking. I was like, I want the other side of this, where it's these guys just watching this like doofus fumble through a train,
Oh my god.
and just being
Yeah.
like, what is this guy's deal? Holy,
What's
what
happening?
the hell?
Oh god. This did want to send me on a Buster Keaton just like bonanza
Yeah.
to watch all his stuff.
You know what's really weird is to watch his talkie stuff, because he
I'm
made some
sure.
movies where he talks, and it's like
Ah, that's the same with actually the same with what's the name of it? It's not the general, it's like the leader. Charlie Chaplin.
the Great Dictator with Chaplin.
Great Dictator.
Yeah.
It's the same thing where I was like, I don't like watching him talk. I know it's a good film, but I can't
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So woo. But I want more train movies. The last time there was a train movie I saw was Shanghai Nights. There's something Shanghai. I can't
I watched. What did I watch? Midnight Run had a train. That was the last thing I watched. Bullet Train's coming out. That Brad Pitt movie by the guys who made Deadpool. Like
That's right. That's right. I could watch
I was like that'd probably be good.
Train.
I told Jess, she was like, that looks terrible, and I was like, I'm gonna see it.
I'm gonna see it.
I don't even care. It looks ridiculous in the best way. It looks like one of those action movies where I'm like brain goes down and I just like enjoy Brad Pitt, older than my in-laws,
I was doing
looking stupid hot still.
and just kicking butt.
Brad Pitt's one of those guys when people are like, Brad Pitt's hot, I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I can't even like refute that. That's a weird. That we did. Yeah, it's obvious.
Yeah, but not as hot as he used to be. But still,
He he also, I guess, threatened to quit a bunch of movies when Harvey Weinstein tried to like molest his
hmm
girlfriend. So I
yeah,
was
I
like,
saw that.
oh, he like used his star power to be like, don't you touch her.
Don't you dare, dude!
I
I'm
was
way
like,
bigger
damn,
than
nice,
you.
good, Brad Pitt, go.
More celebrities need to realize they have that power.
Yeah,
Like I could shut down your entire studio by not being in
yeah.
your movies.
Um, yeah, no, but the thing about the general is the plot is like Mad Max simple. Guy
Yeah,
has to stop a train. That's the whole
hey,
plot.
that's it.
This
Trying
is
everything
entire.
he
The
can.
train's gonna ruin the war for the Confederates, and he stopped the train.
Oh my gosh. I know I finally saw it. I've seen the part with the wood where he has the piece of wood and he's
Yeah,
holding
where
it on the
he's
train.
tossing it on
I've
the.
seen I never knew. I thought it was just like a short film. I thought it was like a
Mm-mm.
5 minute little sketch. I didn't realize it was part of a bigger movie.
I mean, short. It's like 70
It's an
minutes. It's
hour.
not.
It's
Yeah,
still
it's not a
okay.
very long like
Not a
full
long
feature.
movie, but
I had this question though as I watched this because I was like, this is a good comedy and this is good like chase comedy. What is the best chase vehicle for a comedic chase?
Chase. You could do stuff with boats. I haven't watched Speed 2, but I'm sure there's stuff in there.
No, no, no. I'm saying like, but like, what would you like
Oh.
if two people chasing each other, they're both on the same thing? What's the funniest contrast? I have an opinion on this.
Yes, okay. Just give it to me.
Shetland ponies,
I'm gonna jump from
full
ponies.
size people on tiny horses.
What's this?
I
Chase?
think that's funny.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Or unicycles. I think unicycles would also be
Unicycle.
really funny.
But only one person per unicycle.
I think it's two guys on a tandem bike, and then the bike splits, and then they're on the unicycle, still
Yeah,
like
oh my god!
pedaling each
Trying
other.
to get each other. Oh, I love that.
Note, Hollywood. This is a thing you should do.
Things. This is why we need more movies set in olden times. Where the gimmick is like they had to get on the bike. There wasn't vehicles.
Forget olden times. Set it in like a museum. Just
Modern-
start the
no,
chase in like a
museum.
weird history place, and they have no. The only thing they have access to is the stupid.
The stupid old-timey convention.
Yeah.
I love that.
The thing I love about Buster Keaton though is that he does all this crazy crap. Like I'm gonna compare him to Jackie Chan a lot because that's kind of the best modern version of that. Even though Jackie Chan I think is canceled now for stuff, but whatever.
Little things.
For stuff in China, it's not stuff here.
There's no stuff here.
Yeah, it's Chinese politics. I don't know all about it. Anyway, he like he does all this and his face is just like
Yeah.
and Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan when he does all the things like
like, oh.
which is funny in its own way, but just for Buster Keaton to like his body's wiggling in 9 different directions and everything's going wrong and his whole face is just like, yep, this is a day in the office. This is what I gotta do all day. God damn it.
He just looks like a man who just wants to get his stuff done and things won't let him
Just
do
like
it.
0 fucks
I guess
left.
that's how it is when he climbs the clock tower too. He's like, "Oh, just get back up on it."
That's what's so funny when the one he does where the house falls around him and he just looks around like, well,
Well,
what the fuck?
that
I don't know.
was that just seemed to happen.
Also, can we get more movies at wars that aren't World War II?
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
there are
true.
so many I think it's World War II, and then Vietnam got a lot in the post-Vietnam
Yeah.
era.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, those are the two big ones. I'm like, man, give me some more of 1812 movies. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's
Burn
go.
the White House down.
Let's do it. Give me. Let's fight the British. Give me a.
Yeah.
I saw Hamilton. Give me the actual war.
Yeah. Where's the Revolutionary War movie, man?
Come on. Oh, I have seen Buster Keaton in one talkie. That's right. He's in a funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
Oh, that's right. He is, yeah.
His last movie.
That's
I
right.
just never
That's right.
realized.
He is in on this. I will say, speaking of talkies, I do think that we need movies more that like. Are you okay?
I lost my phone, so I lost my list of movies.
We need more movies that like don't just rely on like kitschy dialogue. Like as much as I love Tarantino, as much as I love like the stuff written by Jorms Wirbden, I'm like, you know what? I don't need a movie where they're cracking sarcastic at each other 24/7.
Yeah.
I can do with like I'm gonna stare at you and you're gonna stare at me, and somehow that's gonna be funnier than any joke we could have written.
I think that's the beauty of Mad Max is that it's after watching this, it could have been a silent film. It could have straight up not had any dialogue. Wonderful. Let's
I have
make
always
it
wanted.
black and white. Let's make it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I want to do this thing where I want to watch. I want to watch a foreign film without the subtitles, and see if I get it. Like, see if I follow what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, in some fashion. And yeah, you can't get everything, but like, could I watch? And I was going through them, and I was looking at them, and I was like, I don't. God, this is tough because I don't know how many of them. You know, I think action movies lend themselves to that, and comedy action, which is this kind of falls in, is in that same boat.
I get it.
But also, fuck the Confederates. They shouldn't have won anything.
Nope. Get them out. Get them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still get them out. Still kick them out.
Yeah, just like it's dumb and no. But if you want to watch a movie where you get a root for the racists without feeling too bad about it,
This is probably the only one.
it's probably the only one. It's the only one where you can be like, yes, go south, and then be like, I guess.
I mean,
I don't know how. I mean, God, that's the clip. That's what's gonna end up sound biting me in my ass.
oh my god, I think I can use it against you.
I also want to say to anyone out there who thinks that this movie is genius comedically and burns Jar Jar Binks, you can suck it. This is the same movie. It's literally the same.
You love Jar Jar Binks. You just don't know it.
Everyone should love Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar is love. Jar Jar is life.
His life. Oh my gosh. Oh. So okay.
Okay, so the next one's M, I think.
M, right?
M is
Yeah,
31.
1931. You're right.
So halfway through watching The Third Man, I realized that I picked almost entirely movies that were set in Germany. Two of which were made in Germany.
Yes.
This is the best. I think this is my favorite of the ones we watched.
This is my favorite.
I also
Mainly 'cause
watched.
it has probably my favorite actor, Peter Lorre. As they say his name, I don't know.
You know who does a pretty good Peter Lorre?
Stop.
Do that impression.
You're scaring me, dude.
Yeah.
That's why
I watched this on the 4th of July because I was like, fuck America.
Oh my
Watching
God.
German films.
Watching German film time. Not the other this week.
I also was like, damn, this is a Freddy Krueger origin story. Child murderer who's like lynched by a mob.
Yeah, you're right.
It could just be this movie.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my god.
I love like most of this. I think it's a little slow in places.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff in the middle with the mob is kind of confusing, but I genuinely just was like, it's incredible that they take this guy who starts the movie literally murdering children, and by the end of the movie, everyone else looks so insane that you're kind of like, the murderer's not the worst.
Right. I didn't know. I didn't look up the synopsis. I just saw who was in it.
Yeah.
And then I put it on. I was like, oh, like right away. I was like, this is what this is.
This is bad.
Like,
this is going to be bad. I guess what I learned is because Peter Lorre, I think Peter Lorre is Jewish. So I guess, because this came out in the 30s, and then a few years later when the Nazis did Nazi things, they used the courtroom scene where he's like, I have to kill people, I can't fight my nature, to say like, this is what Jews are like. And it became like, it like got more press because it was the perfect example of how evil the Jews are. And I was like, oh god.
Oh no.
Son of a bitch. Nazis ruining everything.
Uh,
Which is so sad because it's not about that.
No.
It's about the fact that, yes, this is a bad dude, but also, you shouldn't, like, just take the law into your own hands and straight up just, like, kangaroo court this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I did love the joke, though, in the courtroom scene of the eyewitness is the blind guy.
Yeah.
He comes in, he's like, I heard him, it's the same sound. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is your evidence? This is the guy.
Oh man, I love the shadows at work in this movie. I believe it looked like it was on a set because of shadows. A lot of the time, it didn't feel like it as much because it felt like light was hitting them in weird ways and disguising people behind stuff. And I love that. I love that so much. Oh,
yeah. I was also just like halfway through it. I was like, why is this both a Freddy Krueger setup and the origins of that like hobo army from the John Wick franchise?
Oh my god!
Like it's all of it. Apparently, we just need to make a movie that connects all of this crap to M. It's all shared universe. Let's go.
Man, what an easy title to remember for a movie too.
My favorite too is that the hobos were not inconspicuous at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
people walking past, you see this guy who's like, coins, coins.
Coins, please give me it.
You sir, who look like you might be a murderer.
Exactly it. Oh my god.
Oh, sorry, German accent. You sir, who look like you might be a murderer.
If they all sound like that, the movie's just not scary.
Except Peter Lorre, who sounds like Peter Lorre.
Peter Lorre doing his thing.
Peter
Oh my
Lorre.
gosh.
I didn't know Peter Lorre was in like 3 of my favorite old-timey movies. I didn't even know it.
I know. God. The only movie he's in that like I don't super love, which I'll get into it later too, is Casablanca. Is because it's boring. We'll talk about that one more later too, because we have somebody else on this list.
Oh my gosh, freaking Casablanca.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Guys,
No,
Casablanca's fine.
it's fine.
It's not great.
It's not great.
Stop saying it's better than The Godfather. It's not.
It's not The Godfather.
I watched The Godfather in the best way the other day. Just the Robert De Niro scenes.
Oh my god.
I just skipped everything else. I was like, I just want to watch Vito.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a pretty good hour-and-a-half long movie.
Yeah.
I just wish there wasn't another 2-hour movie around it about Michael being a dick.
Man, if we could just cut all the Michael stuff and make it just the Godfather scenes, only everything between those two actors. Oh,
Say, I love Pacino, but that he's not good in 2. At least he's not as good in 2 as he was in the first one.
did they say what the M stands for in this movie?
I think it's just murderer. I think it's just the like M for murder.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's because that's what they do, because they labeled the guy with the chalk. Remember?
Oh, okay.
That one guy like draws the M on him to say murder, because murder in German is just murder. I don't actually know if that's true. Don't quote me on that.
Well, you took German. You have to
I did. Yeah, we don't exactly learn murder in high school German. Murder in German. Mord. Okay, so it's still an M. I'm guessing murder comes from the German word for murder.
Yep, you're right. You're right. That's it's M for murder. I just looked it up. Okay.
Yeah. I also like for how old this is. Fritz Lang, who directed some of the best silent films on the planet, none of which we picked. This is like one of the only ones he did. This is the only one he did with any dialogue, and it's some of the best looking like movies from the 30s. I mean, I haven't watched everything from the 30s, obviously. Of the 7 movies I've watched, this one looked the best. Suck It, Gone with the Wind.
I do need to watch more of his movies too. The only other one I've watched is Metropolis, I think, because of the weird robot.
They're the 2 everybody knows. Him and Metropolis are the only ones everybody knows.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because that's the 2.
Yeah.
But,
I also feel like it'd be really, really fun to make a movie like old-timey style, where everyone can just kind of be a bumbling idiot halfway through the movie for no reason.
For no reason.
But without all of the racist people who existed back then. I don't want those.
Take them out. Yeah. Oh, man.
I also got really confused because I didn't, about halfway through it, I watched it once, like 2/3 of the way through, and then was like, what? And I restarted about 1/3 of it because I didn't realize that there was like a mob gang and the cops. And so when they arrested one of the mobsters, I was like, wait a minute, what? They arrested their own guy? I'm confused. And then had to go back and be like, oh, there's a group of people also trying to find this guy.
I guess I can get it because the costumes aren't super.
There are 65 old white men in this movie, and they do not tell you who any of them are.
No, they don't. I agree with that.
And that's one of the biggest things I have problems with in foreign films, bar none, is I just have such a hard time distinguishing characters if they all look the same.
Everyone looks, except for the leading man. I can't tell anybody.
It is one of the few things that I was so impressed with Parasite. Is I was like, every person in this movie feels different.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I agree with that. It's so weird.
I was like, oh, it's just a Bong Joon-ho thing. And then I went and watched I think the host, and I was like, oh right, no, never mind. It's just Song Kang Ho and everybody else. I can't tell the
I
difference.
can't tell.
And I feel really racist saying that.
No,
I swear I'm not trying to be.
I get that completely though. Oh
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, of the 8 we watched, I think this one was the one that I was like, I would watch this again.
Yeah.
And I did because I had to remind myself of what happened halfway through. 'Cause I watched it so long ago.
I watched it 5 times to figure out the plot.
I watched it literally a month ago.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another movie with M. What is it? The letter M? What's the name of that? Something.
Dial M for Murder. It's the
Dial-
Hitchcock
yeah.
one.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I was like, what other movie has M
Yeah.
in it?
Also, there's definitely a scene in M. It's one of the police to police. It's like the police are communicating and they cut. And I swear to
Yeah.
God, they just flipped the desk in the room around and shot it from the other side.
Oh my god.
I was like, that is the same desk backwards. I kid you
sometimes-
not.
I feel like someday when we do this, we gotta sit down together and watch them, so we can be like, look at that.
We got to do like a live stream where we watch something and just talk about it the whole time. Also, I love that they have that argument about what color hat the murderer was wearing because the whole movie's in black and white.
Black and white.
And you're like, it was green, it was red, it was green, it was red. And I'm like, that's great because we have no fucking clue what it was because it's not in color.
Yeah. God. Oh, that's been way more in black and white movies of color.
Yeah.
The kid with the red hulu, and it like shows a shot of a whole playground of kids with hulu.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I understand it. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I just like want what where it's like that. It's like, oh, him in the blue pants, and they cut to like a bunch of people in black and white, and then just some guy with an arrow is like, this one, this one right here, ding ding,
right here, ding ding, for the audience.
It's like a boom mic with something on it coming in, pointing.
God.
Yeah, so much good stuff. Love it. Yeah.
Oh, so now we got the comedy movie.
The comedy.
One that I saw a long time ago when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Finally watched it again and got the jokes this time more.
Yeah, I got the Marx Brothers jokes.
Yeah, I got the Marx Brothers jokes. I wasn't just like, oh, they're just black and white and running around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This makes me always think of like, I always ask the question whenever I watch one of those comedic groups from the old days of like, which one of them was really the kind of the one that's probably the best.
Yeah.
You got Stooges, you got Laurel and Hardy, you got the Marx Brothers, you got Abbott and Costello.
Yeah. I always was a big Harpo boy.
Harpo Marx is great. And Groucho Marx probably is the smartest comedian.
Yeah. Even on interviews. That's the thing. His transition from silent films to talkies, seamless, because he was just funny.
Well, he
funny.
was doing vaudeville before that, so he was like on stage. The thing that blows my mind about all of that is they'll throw those idioms out, you know, like the one everyone knows is I shot an elephant in my pajamas, and he sets up a joke. He sets up what is going to be a joke, and then the punchline is not the punchline that you think it's going to be, and that makes it even funnier. And it's like I was like, that's some genius stuff right there. I don't even understand how you can like come up with that.
I just had the idea that Harpo had such a fun time not saying anything in movies that when he got to the talkie pictures, he went, still not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. And then poor Zeppo. Like
Zeppo.
They're like, hey Zeppo, you get to be the boring guy that we forget about.
Just come along for the.
And I guess there's a fifth one.
Is he in this?
No, he's not. There's a fifth Marx brother.
Oh my god.
I don't remember. God, I want to say
the Marx.
I don't know why I want to say his name is Goober, but it's not.
Please be Goober. Okay. It's Gumo. It's close.
Gumo.
Gumo Marx, baby.
Gumo sounds like a grandpa to Elmo.
Yeah.
This is Elmo's grandpa, Gumo.
Was the youngest of the 5 Marx brothers.
Yeah. And then Chico's the oldest. He's the one we didn't mention yet. And Chico played, I guess he was the ladies' man, but he was also like the buffoon.
Oh, what the? Okay, so it says in World War I he was drafted, so his brother Zappo took his spot. When and then he later stated he had no taste for theater and became a successful businessman. Good job for Gumo.
Good job, Gumo.
Proud of you, dude.
Come on down the Gumo's fish shop. We're selling you fish. I don't know what business he went into.
Businessman is the most unspecific thing you can do. I do business. That's
And I'm a fucking businessman.
Oh my gosh.
No, and I will say this: I have done this kind of comedy before. I have to be the Harpo, or I cannot do it. I am like so bad as the straight man. I laugh at everything, and it is so hard. I will sit there like,
oh my gosh.
for the viewers at home listening, I just made a bunch of weird faces.
Weird faces. Yeah. I thought I saw this movie. I must have seen Animal Crackers and not Duck Soup. So I realized I thought every time I was like, I know I've seen this. I went, no, maybe I haven't.
I'm gonna tell you that 90% of their films have a very loose and nonsensical plot just to structure in their bits.
Yep.
I also forgot this was like kind of a musical.
Yep. A little bit of a musical. A lot of dance sequences, which I loved. So,
they have that guy who looks like Vincent Price, but like on Wish.
I
I will say too, I remember watching this because the first time I watched it I was in college, and I was like, God, this is some funny. This politician's ridiculous. No one would believe this guy. And after Trump, I'm like, God, that could happen.
That could happen.
God
so
damn. Yeah,
there's a lot of things with goofy politicians that I'm like, oh, it's funny. And now I'm like, now I'm scared of them. No, I'm scared of it.
Like that's the future.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
God.
I will also say the most brilliant, as much as I think M is the best movie we watched, the scene with the mirror.
Yes.
The mirror is the most brilliant physical thing, bar none. I do not like.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how hard that is. To not only mirror, but also mirror when you really can't see each other.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to hope that the choreography's down. I'm pouring a soda. If you hear weird fizzes.
I drank an entire drink. I'm worried I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom because we're only halfway done. But
we're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there. After watching them, it weirdly. I love the Three Stooges a lot, but I feel like these guys are way more impressive as a comedy group.
They're smarter. For the Stooges is really lowbrow humor. It's slaps and farts and goofy like shtick that you just know is coming. These guys are telling actual jokes. While doing slaps and farts and goofy shit.
Exactly.
So that's good. I mean, that's the thing that's what I think separates Groucho from the rest of the bros is because he's doing these highbrow jokes that they're like, oh, that's funny, and then 20 minutes later, they're like, oh, that was really funny. That was way funnier than I realized it was.
That's exactly it.
I have a book of quotes between him and John Lennon that. They're not like them talking to each other. They're just quotes that are similar, called Marx and Lenin.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like, I want to just like have it out all the time when people come over and be like, this is my new religion. This is my new political affiliation. Marx and Lenin.
He was the funniest Beatle.
He was the funniest Beatle.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh
also,
God.
there's a guy in this movie who looks like Saddam Hussein, and it makes me laugh every time.
Oh my God.
One of the generals at the end that comes in and was like, that is Saddam Hussein.
I think I know you.
Yeah, that guy looks just like him.
Oh my God.
And then I was like, but Saddam Hussein would have been like non-existent at that point. Oh, to live in a world that didn't have Saddam Hussein.
It didn't have a lot of people at this point, which is...
It had Hitler.
It had Hitler, though. You can't win. Oh my gosh.
It had Hitler. It did not have... He who shall not be named.
We'll just keep him.
Orange is the new president.
No, not quite yet. Yeah, okay, good. I was looking.
No, we got another 15. Next movie we watch, I'll have him. He's alive.
Yep, next movie. No, yep, it is.
But we also didn't have Danny DeVito, so it balances, I think.
Woo!
Whoa! Yeah. Imagine, how lucky are we that we live at the same time as Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito.
I was doing this thing with my classmates. I was trying to figure out how to make a Danny DeVito meme represent everybody in the room. The best one was with this guy who would like occasionally pull like old containers of food out of the trash that were like still like sealed and eat them.
Yeah.
Not the containers to eat the food in the in the
Okay.
containers.
No.
But I just found that clip of him being like, "I'm the trash man. I throw it everywhere, and then I eat the garbage." And I was just like, "God, that
There
is."
you guys. That's you guys.
It's way
My
funnier when I
favorite.
know someone who does that.
Oh. Gosh.
Yeah. No, this movie. I will say, I don't think there is a better comedy for the time. Probably not for the next 20, 30 years.
The only film. No, that's like 20 years later too. Some Like It Hot's like 1950s, right?
Yeah, so that's about
It's not-
20. I'd say
Okay,
Something Like It's
that's
Hot's probably
20.
the next great comedy.
Yeah.
Something by the Pythons,
Yeah.
and Mel Brooks stuff. Like
Mel
that's
Brooks.
yeah, that's when it kind of comes.
But it won't be for a while still.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I can't think of a 40s comedy that I'm like, ha, brilliant.
No.
I'm sure there
I'm
are.
sure somebody's yelling. Somebody's gonna. If they heard
Somebody's
this,
sitting,
like,
yeah.
"Ugh." 40s comedies.
Yeah.
40s best comedies.
40s comedies. Oh, there's probably some.
Why
Oh,
did I look? No,
Abbott and Costello.
I looked up 40 best, and it gave me like the 40 best comedies. For some reason, Buzz Lightyear popped up.
Like the new one?
Yeah, the new one. No.
Oh, that just came out. I gotta watch that.
Oh, God.
Oh, I guess My Favorite Wife is
Oh.
pretty good. My Favorite Wife is good. His Girl Friday is pretty good. Those are okay. So the Cary Grant comedies,
Cary Graham.
they get a pass. We'll give them those.
Oh, which actually, it's perfect for it later. Actually, no, what we're just about to talk about.
Yeah.
We're just about to talk about him.
Let's just move on.
And I can say it right away that Cary Grant, I like him way better in comedies than in serious movies.
Okay, so this is my hard, fast confession. This is the third Hitchcock movie I have seen ever.
Yeah. Ever.
This
I
is
think
the
me too.
worst Hitchcock movie I have seen ever.
Okay, I feel bad because we just talked about Casablanca. Now, I tell people all the time, Ingrid Bergman is like my favorite actress, maybe ever. I love her in everything. I hate her movies. They're so boring to me.
I'm gonna say this. Ingrid Bergman, as soon as I saw she was in this movie, I was like, oh, she's better than everyone else in this movie.
Yeah, she's better than everybody.
And then I was like, oh wait, Claude Rains is also in this movie. Okay, she's better than most everyone in this movie.
Yes. Oh my God.
Like I
That's
was
really
just
good.
yeah, I don't know.
Rain's very good.
This had that thrillery thing, but it also was trying to be a romance film, and it was like it's trying too hard to be both, and it's not
Yeah.
doing either super well.
I feel
And they make you think that Cary Grant's the bad guy for a long time.
long time. And yet, weirdly, I didn't find that thrilling because I kind of thought I knew what was going on more than other. Unfortunately, watching Psycho, I've been spoiled a million times before I saw it. So there are other movies of his where I'm like, well, doesn't matter.
I somehow watched Rear Window without having the whole plot of that thing
Oh,
spoiled.
that's the third. My third movie is Vertigo.
Oh yeah, I saw Rear Window.
So
And I won't say if you know it, I won't say it, so you can watch.
Yeah,
Rear
I-
Window's actually really good. It's probably better than Psycho.
yeah, I think so.
Mostly because
I mean, I
Jimmy
haven't
Stewart's
seen it.
just
I think Vertigo is better than Psycho by a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Other
the Jimmy Stewart movies are just
Yeah, watch both the Jimmy Stewart movies.
Hitchcock and Jimmy
Maybe-
Stewart.
I gotta watch North by Northwest. Maybe it's I don't know.
I wish your computer was in a place where you could just like show the Jimmy Stewart photo that mom and dad have in
Oh
the house.
God, I wish I could carry it up. The
For those who
stairs.
haven't
Should
seen,
I-
our parents have this giant. I mean, it's like humongous Jimmy Stewart photo. Oh my
Can I
god!
just
it's
take it
gonna-
off the wall?
Oh, he's okay. He's gonna go get it. Yeah, it's my mom got it. My dad's a big Jimmy Stewart fan. His favorite movie is A Wonderful Life. If you watched our episode, you would know that. And it's just this absurdly humongous photo of Jimmy Stewart, which Nate is, I'm guessing, bringing in any second now. He's coming. I can he's coming. I hear him. I had to entertain the troops.
Man, the people on Spotify are not. Whatever.
They're just so mad that we waste all this time showing a photo. I checked. I think we have like 4 views on Spotify. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's the photo.
Woo!
All right, great. That was a good bit. We totally did it. Now I gotta wait till him to get back downstairs. So I'm gonna keep talking about Notorious.
I'm gonna put it right here. I'll put it back after.
Okay, great.
Put it back later. Okay. Oh my God.
Okay, so I'm watching this movie. I love that every car chase in an old movie looks like a child driving in Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
Looks
Just like, way
I also
too
love
much.
how you'll get those people driving and they'll be sitting like this, and the car in the back, like the background is obviously like a screen or something, and they're not moving very much, and the whole background's like, and you're just like,
Yeah.
they're not driving like that at all.
That's what I love. Oh, I love it even more though when the actor does the big like
Yeah. I also about halfway through it was like, Claude Rains is more charming than Cary Grant is in this, and I don't know why they made him the bad guy because he's way more interesting.
He's so cool. I love him. Oh,
I will.
Arsenic and Old Lace. There's a movie.
That's a
Cary
brilliant
Grant.
comedy with Cary Grant.
That's a brilliant comedy.
Guys,
Yes.
if you're gonna watch a Cary Grant movie, watch the ones he's funny in, because he's very funny.
I don't find him super charming. Is my problem. I think in general.
Cary Grant has my favorite real name of a person with a stage name.
Right. What's his real name? What is
Archibald Leach.
How did he
Which
not keep that?
John Cleese took when he named his character in Fish Called Wanda.
Oh my god! Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, his name is Archibald Leach. I would have called myself Cary Grant too.
Yeah, I guess.
I did a
like the name
whole
Archibald,
thing.
though.
I did a whole thing on some of the best like stage names and like what they were actually called. And there's some where you're like, oh yeah, for sure.
Of course. Oh my gosh.
I've learned some fun facts about Ingrid Bergman that I did just while I was watching this because I was kind of getting bored and wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
She has worked one time with director Ingmar Bergman, specifically because they wanted to do that because their names are very similar.
Oh, okay. That's it.
Yeah, it's only one. It was like one of his last movies. She also speaks like 6 languages and is smarter than pretty much everybody else in this movie.
Right. That's probably why she's so good.
And
God.
she's Swedish.
Ah.
And she starred in some of the best movies of the 40s, according to most people who watched them when they were 65 years old in the 1990s.
Yes, that's exactly it. And I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. This and Casablanca don't do it for me. And she's built for the camera. Her eyes, especially for black and white, show so much going on.
Oh yeah.
And so
she's so good. I mean, like, legitimately, she's easily the best. I know I joke about Claude Rains, but like, she's legitimately the best actor in this whole thing.
Yeah.
I would love. I was thinking about this while I was watching. I was like, I'm so interested to see a documentary about the transition between the silent era and the talkie era in the 20s and 30s, like when it became very clear that the talking film was like the one that we were going to keep going with.
Yeah, and the other
because I remember when it started, when the Jazz Singer came out, everyone was like, "This is never going to work."
No, people are going to hate it. Hearing people,
Yeah.
Oh,
and I will say too, the couple of scenes where Hitchcock really leaned into the tension, like they worked really well. That part where she's on the bed and is helpless, and she's like, "Someone's gonna kill me." I was legitimately like, "Oh my god, this is terrifying." That's scarier than Nosferatu. It's weighing like, I'm sick and invalid, and the man who owns this house might stab me.
No, almost every movie we watched was scarier than Nosferatu.
Mostly because of racism.
Nothing is scarier than racism.
Nothing is scarier than. Why does that sound like a Bo Burnham joke?
Well, I think that should be that's on the top of a poster or something.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a documentary about systemic racism and just say nothing is scarier than racism. A horror movie.
Horror movie, God.
That's so insensitive. We should never do that. It does sound like a Bo Burnham thing, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like, and racism. Nothing's scarier than racism.
Oh my gosh. What movie are we talking about again? I lost.
It's Notorious.
Oh my god. I spaced out on Bo Burnham for a second.
Yeah.
Oh god.
There's just some weird, like, oh, this is my favorite fun fact. So my dog, for those who don't know, barks at literally every dog and horse that shows up on any movie ever, which was great when we get to Shane. But he barks. So there's a dog in this movie, this little tiny, like, I don't remember what breed it is. One of those Yorkie, Schnauzer, Bichon Frise, whatever the hell it is.
Something.
Comes out, it snips at somebody. My dog goes ballistic. And then my instinct when he comes back is he looked at me and he's all upset. And I was like, don't worry, dude. That dog is definitely dead by now. And then I was like, I am a bad person. And then I thought, so this is something that I was in a high school because I teach, obviously, and they had like the class photos of the yearbook photos going all the way back to like the
Yeah,
founding of the high school in the 20s. And I look at those first ones and I look at those high schoolers and I'm like, 1922. Everyone in this photo is dead.
that was the
And my
that
brain
was
is
the
like,
thing when I took a
oh,
God.
yeah.
But that was the thing when we took when I took the movie class at the CC. We're watching the first ever film thing ever, and no sound, black and white, very fuzzy, and there's a guy holding his baby, and our teacher pauses it and walks up to the screen like, "Oh, what's he gonna say?" He's like, "That baby is dead now," and walks back to his seat. And we're like, "Oh my God!"
Right. Yep, definitely. That baby is dead now. I feel bad that that's sometimes what I think about when I watch old movies. I'm just like,
I know. Nobody in this movie has made it.
I also am still in that like millennial mindset where I'm like, the 1940s was like 30 years ago, and I didn't even exist in the 70s, so I don't know why I think it's that recent. And then my brain goes, that was 80 years ago.
Crazy. we need to stop.
We gotta stop doing visual
For
shit.
those of you who didn't see that, we just got really close to our webcams. That's all.
We should do one podcast where we just narrate weird shit that we're not doing.
Oh my gosh.
It's that bit, you know that bit where they record, have you seen, you know that episode of The Office where they record like the whole meeting, or Dwight puts the tape recorder down because it's more efficient than like writing, and halfway through Jim's just like, Dwight, why are you getting naked? And Dwight's like, I am not getting naked, Michael.
I'm not getting
It's
naked.
like, now he's playing with a chainsaw. Anyway,
Oh my
we're getting on so many tangents. Sorry, this is gonna be a long episode, everybody.
It's gonna be very long. Oh my God.
I will
yeah,
say
we've
the
been on
thing
for
that
almost an
the
hour.
thing that ruined it for me is I was like, this is the tensest thing, and then it becomes the least tense thing at the very end.
I think that was my thing.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, that was, he just walked her out of the house and drove away, and nobody stopped him. Great,
Yep. Great. Wonderful ending.
cool.
Thank you, movie.
Thanks, movie. All right.
Thanks,
All right,
thanks, movie. I'm gonna new catchphrase if I don't like a movie.
Thanks, movie.
Thanks, movie.
Oh, I got a catchphrase for you. It's coming up because I wrote it down.
Oh my God. I can't wait. Is it for the third man?
No, it's for one of the 50s movies.
Oh,
We'll get there when we get there. Speaking of the third man, speaking of the third man, we're gonna do 2 Orson Welles films back to back.
yes.
I hated
Good.
both of
I
them.
love it.
I like Orson.
No.
I've come to this realization. I like Orson Welles the filmmaker more than Orson Welles the actor, more than Orson Welles
but I
the
like that.
human being. I'm like, Orson Welles as a human being seems like a douche. I should say seemed, because he's also definitely dead by now.
Yeah, well, seemed he also definitely was a douche to most people. There's a whole entire list on. Somebody posted a big Twitter longer of just him hating on everyone else in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. I do love Orson Welles, who he hires to shoot his movies.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest thing. They look beautiful.
Whoever his cinematographer is phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So,
Can I just say, starting in the third man, before we even get into what the movie is about, the soundtrack to this movie is a disaster. It is so jaunty for a thriller murder mystery where a guy's running around. By the way, I picked 3 movies set in Germany.
That's all there was to talk about in the 40s and 50s.
So I watched them. I watched them like chronologically. I went 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and as soon as I got halfway through, I realized they were in Germany again. I was like, God damn it! If Shane's a German Western, I'm gonna lose my damn mind.
I'm gonna lose it. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was so weird just to like. I was just like, why? Why is this such an uppity like do 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 do? Your friend just got murdered. Do 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 do. I was like, this is the I that's how I want my funeral to be, peppy jazz.
I don't know why. I don't know if Orson Welles is a good director of actors either, because that's my biggest problem with Citizen Kane is that people in it seem like they don't have direction. Like he didn't want to tell them what to do.
He might be a George Lucasy kind of director.
That's how I feel watching this stuff.
Anyone who doesn't know,
He says, well,
George
he was
Lucas has
alive.
like, for anyone who don't know, Mark Hamill did a whole thing about George Lucas's two notes were like faster, more intensity. That was like all he ever said.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to direct actors,
man.
and there are some out there. This is one of the things that J.J. Abrams actually does really well is
Yes.
directs actors.
I
He
agree.
does not end things well.
Anything well, he cannot come up with
JJ.
an ending.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I love how they made this guy a writer, and then every time they asked about his books, it was like, insert the most generic book title. Have you ever heard of The Bad Man from Santa Fe? And you're like, yeah, that's every book I've ever read.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm like, how many James Patterson novels did you just name?
I do love that. The title, when I came in, I was like, who is the third man? That's what I wanted to know.
It was
I like,
very
what does that
apparent it
mean?
was Orson Welles.
It was very, I was like, oh, he wouldn't name the movie after himself.
I was also so mad because they put Orson Welles in the freaking credits, and then he's not in like half the damn movie because he's supposed to be the one who died. And I'm like, Orson Welles isn't dead. And yeah, it's obvious, but like, actually put the suspense. I love those twists where they don't tell you someone's in the movie at the start, and then he showed like, for okay, Seven, the movie Seven. You know, with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Of course, yeah.
The bad guy, who I shall leave nameless for
You
reasons.
don't talk about him. You never talk
We
about
don't talk about Bruno. Shows up halfway through the movie. He was not in the opening credits, and he did it that way because he didn't want people to be waiting for him. He wanted this they wanted the big reveal when the bad guy gets caught, and it's just like, oh, it's some skinny ass bald dude.
that guy.
Yeah. Who shall remain nameless. And anyone who's seen Seven knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer. That's...
You said his name. Yeah, people are gonna wonder why we can't say Christopher Plummer.
I was joking with my wife about doing a tough act to follow that's on you know who, and just every time I say his name, Christopher Plummer gets from my Christopher Plummer video just gets thrown in there.
Oh my gosh.
So Christopher Plummer, just
oh my gosh.
I just decided a long time ago, I was like, people who are controversial, I'm not gonna touch them. I'm just gonna save myself the pain. I think the closest I got was Scarlett Johansson, and I don't think I'm gonna go much farther.
So, why did I think he directed this? He didn't direct this.
He didn't direct this. No, he's just in it.
No, sorry, it's the director of Oliver or whatever.
I will say Orson Welles as an actor is I was wrong. I got actor, filmmaker, then human. Actor first. Yeah. He's a good actor in most things.
In most things.
The thing he's great in this. He's probably the only character in this that I found interesting at all.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I kind of forgettable of everyone else.
I will also say the chase in the sewers. It does not seem like Orson Welles is someone who runs a lot.
No.
He ran 4 feet to the camera and went, and I was like, you literally didn't even run that far.
Yeah.
You look like, and I was like, I can study acting. I know good acting. That man looked like he was about to pass out.
Yeah.
I was like, that man has not been running like as much as the Yeah, that character has not run as much as Orson Welles has just run physically.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you know, weird, going back to Star Wars, that Orson Welles was originally who George Lucas wanted to play Darth Vader as the voice when he wrote it.
I could see it.
But he thought that Welles was too recognizable and would distract, so he got an unknown. Not totally an unknown, but like a more unknown person, which was James Earl Jones,
like
and
one of the most well-known people ever. Because
at the time, no, but and I don't think they credited James Earl Jones either. I think he just had. There's if you watch B-roll footage of David Prowse, it is so funny.
I know
his voice does not match his body at all.
You.
She is a rebel scum and a traitor. Take her away.
That's like, exactly what it is.
Oh my god, that is not. Although, how funny would that be? I just want a Star Wars comedic thing where his modulator busts and he just starts talking, and it's just like one of these. They did it in Kenobi when the mask shattered. So
yeah. Oh man. Good. They did that the other way. Do it funny now. Do it funny.
My other favorite thing in noir films. This is one of my favorite tropes in noir films. Is there's always a reason they can't just go to the cops. They always come up with some insane logic that they cannot just be like, oh, there was a murderer? Well, we should just call the police. No, we can't call the police.
We should call the
The police are in on it. And also the police are dead. And also the police are out of town. And also the police are not really the police.
What are the police? Police? Huh?
They're mice in man suits.
Oh my god.
Who are also dead criminals out of town. Just like, yeah, there's like 1,000 reasons and none of them make sense.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
I did love the sets on this one too. I thought that because they set it literally like couple years after World War II, and they just used trashed ass post-war Germany. Like it looked.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's cool that they like have him crawling out of a building that was obviously bombed and just hasn't been cleaned up yet.
Yeah. The freaking Ferris wheel, which I think is just like on the trailer, which is why it's in my head, looks really cool.
Yeah.
There's a guy standing in front of it. The whole circus thing looks really cool.
Yeah.
Although I love the fact that because of Orson Welles, this movie was made, because there's so many shots that are shooting upwards and you can see above them.
Yeah.
So it's because of Kane that we have a movie like this, which is funny. Oh, man.
I mean, Citizen Kane is Citizen Kane. Like, you can't. We already talked about that once. And then my favorite thing at the end. I got really invested in the last probably like third once Wells came in and I was actually watching. I was like, this part's actually pretty good. And then fucking jaunty music came back when he died. And I just was like, God damn it. Come on, man. This is not the soundtrack. Who was like, yeah, that's the sound I want. I want this to be a feel good.
Exactly what I want. It's a feel good film.
That and the fact that this thing has more Dutch angles than a Kenneth Branagh Wet Dream, and it just drove me nuts. I was like, every freaking thing is. I was about to twist my computer and then realize that would not like actually. Oh, I guess it would.
That wouldn't fix it.
Yeah, see, like everything looks like this. Everything.
It's good. Let's film a whole episode of this podcast like that.
Film Dutch angle. Let's do Dutch angle movies and edit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I someday need to just make a list of all the dumb shit we've said on here that we're going to do that we definitely forgot about the second.
We definitely would. I will never remember any ideas.
Yeah.
We would just talk about movies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I will say too, and I don't know how early into film noir this was. The Third Man just felt very tropey, and I was saying, I was like, I don't know if this is what started a lot of those tropes, but I was like, it felt very much like you got the cliche best friend, you got the guy who's not dead, you got the cops who can't be trusted, you got the girl who's somehow in on it, but she's also possibly a suspect, you got the guy. The protagonist is definitely being followed by literally everyone for different reasons.
I know. I don't think it's this movie. I've seen a lot of noir movies older than this, and it's always the same. And it got really boring in film class to sit there and be like, okay.
It's like a lot of the stuff we see now. You know, stoner comedies. Honestly, superhero movies are getting to that point where it's just like there's a formula and they follow it to the letter, and it. I also just like the protagonist was like, I'm not very famous as an author, and then every human being on the planet knew he was an author who wrote. I was like, I'm not very famous, except in this one specific town in Germany where everybody reads my books.
Everyone reads my books.
It just happens to be the town my friend got murdered in. Same place. Don't know why. That was his final words. Broadcast across the radio. Read my friend's books.
Rosebud.
I do like that they used him like, oh, I'm an author who writes like thrillers, so I'm like investigating for research.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that's a good plot. That's actually a decent like way to set up why he's sneaking into places he definitely shouldn't be in.
Yeah. Which they would steal from Nathan Fillion's show.
Yes. Castle.
That's it. I was like, it's something. I was like, pawn. I was like going through like pieces and chess for some reason.
Cast. No, it's not even a piece in chess.
It's a move.
Okay. All right. Do you want to talk about the other Wells that I liked less than this one?
Yeah, I did like it less than this one by a lot.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this is we're gonna disclaimer. It's the Orson Welles version of Othello. For those who don't know what Orson Welles looks like, he is not black.
Yeah.
And he is playing a black man. Now, it is surprisingly not the most racist movie of a classical actor playing Othello. Because for some friggin' reason, Laurence Olivier, 20 years after this, I was like 15. 15 years after this, decided I'm going to paint myself legitimately like the darkest shade of black. I own that movie. I have never watched it. And I'm so mad because Maggie Smith is a delight.
I'm
and
sure
I heard she's
in it.
amazing in it.
Oh God!
The only time it's acceptable for a white man.
Oh my God! He's so.
It is really... so yeah.
Oh no!
Like Wells looks a little tan.
Yeah.
But like Olivier is like black.
He really gone and done it.
It's so for those who don't know, I have a theater degree and an English teaching degree, and I know a lot about Shakespeare. That's like my one bridge between those two worlds. And if you're gonna watch a version of Shakespeare, do not watch this one. Sucks.
Mm-hmm.
This one's so bad.
Oh,
I was going through the list of like I was like, what are the good Shakespeare, like self-directed Shakespeare adaptations? Because Wells did direct this.
Yeah.
Olivier's Richard III is really good.
Yes.
And then the Brana, Henry V, Much Ado, those are both fine.
I'm fine with his Hamlet. It's just long because he did the whole thing.
I have very strong thought about Olivier's Hamlet, and I don't like them. Oh, you mean Brana's Hamlet? Brana's Hamlet is okay.
Sorry, Brana. Maybe we need to do something on Shakespeare-directed movies.
Brana's Hamlet is fine, except for Brana as Hamlet.
Yes.
I'm like, everybody else's movie is great, and Brana's just trying way too hard. This is the problem with most people in Shakespeare I have, is it's way too hard. Also, Ralph Fiennes doing Coriolanus, surprisingly, weirdly good. My in-laws hated that movie because they bought it not knowing it was a Shakespeare and thought it was just a Gerard Butler war film. It was not. It was not.
I love that.
Halfway through, they're like, what the hell are they saying? And I was like, yes! This is the best! I also haven't seen Chimes at Midnight, so I should watch that, because I'm sure that one's probably okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I did like that version of Coriolanus.
I also, as soon as I turned this movie on, I looked at the timer that said, 90 minutes, and I was like, this is a 3-hour play.
Mm-hmm.
Which means they cut the shit out of it. They cut every damn monologue that wasn't Othello's. And I don't understand the trend that happened of white guys wanting to play Othello. Because Iago's the better character anyway.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
And he is white.
They cut so much of him.
He doesn't do shit in this movie.
He has nothing in this movie.
It's because he's the better part. And if he gets all of his lines, Iago actually has more lines in the show than Othello does. Mm-hmm. So it shouldn't be called The Tragedy of Othello. It should be called How I Fucked My Friend Over Real Good. The story of Iago.
Iago. I don't know. It's so funny. We're just talking about how much we like Orson Welles as an actor. I didn't love him in this though. He's once again overdoing it way too hard for this.
Oh, I found him underdoing it. I found him so flat. I found him just flat.
I thought he was. I don't know why I thought he was trying too hard to be that way. To be like, I am stoic man.
There is an element of that needs to be there. I think I just took it too far. Yeah. Also, I learned that there are silent Shakespeare films, which makes no sense because it's poetic dialogue.
I never thought about that.
I don't understand how you would do that without.
I want to dive into that. I want to dive into that really hard.
Yeah. No, and the biggest issue I had with Wells is that he doesn't know what the fuck he's saying 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Like he just is like this is the thing I have problems with people who do Shakespeare in movies. And this is my big issue with Olivier's Hamlet for the same reason. Is they're like, this is Shakespeare. And I must make it very important. And I must do it incredibly deeply. And I'm like, just say the goddamn words.
Just say the word.
Shakespeare wrote a line in one of his plays where he told you how to say his fucking stuff. Trivially on the tongue, goddammit.
If there's one, I've talked about time travel, and Lowell and I both agree. If we could go one place, it'd be to see an original Shakespeare. Like the opening night, to know how exactly he wanted it.
I will bet you go watch like King Lear, and it's the funniest goddamn show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yes, it ends tragically, but I will bet you it is the funniest fucking show on the planet.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the pacing on this one sucked too. It was just like half of it was really, really slow, and then the other half was like 2 lines out, and you're like, what? That was, I know that scene. I've done that scene. That was like 45 minutes. You did it in 3 lines.
Wonderful. Yeah. Short Shakespeare.
There was a whole bunch of staging that didn't make sense to me. There was this one shot where literally Olivier, or not Olivier, I keep saying Olivier because it's the other
I
one.
know.
Wells gave a
I
whole
did it
speech
too.
with his back to the damn camera, and Iago's facing it, and I was like, why would you shoot it that
Why
way?
would you shoot that way? I don't know.
I think it's because Wells didn't get his lines down and just was like, I'll just record it later.
Oh, that's smart.
That's
I do love that. I do love the fact that because we have Shakespeare scripts, we know them so well. When you watch them like this and somebody screws up, you're like, I know you got to go back and fix that because somebody's gonna catch it because everyone knows it. Like it was a scholar.
Well, it depends on the line.
Yeah.
Like, to be or not to be, you got to get.
You gotta get
verbatim. You got to get
Yeah.
verbatim. Some of those
I'm
ones,
sure.
like the iconic stuff, yeah. The other stuff, nobody knows.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I had a kid ask me why I could do, like, why I wasn't afraid to do Shakespeare, and I was like, because you don't know what I'm gonna say.
You don't know it. You don't know it.
Like, if you do, congratulations, but I don't think. I will also say the part of this I did like was the two female leads, the Amelia and Desdemona. I don't have either of their actual names down here.
Yeah.
Were really good, and
Yeah.
I was like, that's great for them, and also really disappointing for all of the men
Yes.
who were in this movie.
Very just. Oh, gosh.
My thing with Othello, and I think, and this is just my personal interpretation. Everybody makes him this like stuck up kind of I am very important black guy.
Yeah.
Make him the most chill damn dude on the planet.
Yeah.
Just make him just like somebody who just goes, I don't give a shit. Like doesn't water off a duck's back. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't bother
Right.
me at all.
I love
And then until it bothers the
Until
shit
it-
out of him, and then he
until
kills
it's
his
too
wife.
much. Yes. Oh my
Even
God.
the stuff at the beginning where they're like, I think Cassio's sleeping with your wife. Nah. Even if he is, she's not fine. It's not a big deal. Well, it's kind of it's a bit of a deal. It's a big. It's a decent size. It's a big. God damn it! It's a big fucking deal.
Huge deal.
I'm going to commit murder now.
I'm never going to stop thinking about Laurence Olivier for a while.
It.
Oh God.
One of these
God.
days, I mean, I own it, so obviously he's not making money off of it.
I know.
I just
God.
am like, I don't want to say I watched
I
it.
don't want to watch it.
I bought it not knowing. I was like, Laurence Olivier, Maggie Smith, that's got to be good, not knowing he was playing Othello, and then because I was like 19, and then when it came, I was like, oh,
I will throw this away.
oh, this not so good. Yeah,
Shakespeare.
we're gonna do Shakespeare. I'm gonna pick Shakespeare one of these days.
I should do that. I would actually really like that.
I actually have a Shakespeare movie. Shakespeare. It's not Shakespeare. It's Shakespeare adjacent. That's in our next episode.
Ooh, that's true.
Also, I want to say that I may have gotten kind of drunk when I watched Shane and understood that better than this whole movie. And I've read this script twice.
Okay.
So
Shane is the only movie that I didn't know before coming into this. So
I gotta explain why I picked Shane because I'm sure everyone's like, Western. That's really interesting.
that's an old.
Every time I go into so there's a couple bars when I was living with my father-in-law that had westerns just playing on the TVs all the time, and every time I walked in, I just go, "Oh, Shane."
Shane.
like oh, Shane, yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of, and so I was like, one of these days I'm gonna be right, and it's gonna be really funny. And
Oh my
so
God.
that's just been my bit. Anytime I see a western, because they are all the same, I'm like, oh, Shane, obviously.
Obviously.
This has the catchphrase. This has my favorite line of any movie that we watched. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
I'm not. I gotta find it.
Do you want to save it for the end of the episode because you have?
No, I have a better bit for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I already know that line. I picked that
Good,
one out
good.
before we started.
Nice.
God damn. Oh. Okay, so it's the scene where they're in the caravans, and I don't. The kid goes over to like look at the dog that's barking, and they cut to that little girl who just goes, "Go and bite you." Lost my damn mind. I stopped the movie. I played it back 4 times, and then
God.
showed my wife, and I was like, "What is this read? And why did they keep it?"
Why did they do this?
Go and bite you.
Oh my God. Now, okay, Shane, the guy who plays Shane, whatever,
Alan Ladd. Yeah.
a man who every time he popped up, I went, I recognize that face. Would Google him. I Googled him like 5 times. Like, what do I know him from? I don't know any of his movies. I've not seen any of these things. I just think I know him. And so,
He's just one of those guys. He's got one of those
just
faces.
Old-looking actors. I'm like, who are you?
So Shane's based on a book, and the guy who wrote the book hated Alan Ladd
Oh,
as
no.
as the choice because he thought he was too small. He wanted a Shane who was a big guy who could like kick the shit out of people, and so he was
Yeah.
like, "Why is this scrawny kind of effeminate little like girly man. And then
Man.
and now it's like a freaking Western classic. This movie was really good. I was like, I don't watch a lot of Westerns, but this one actually was
No.
good.
I don't watch many westerns either, so it's been a
I will
while.
also say, for those that don't know, if you haven't watched The Adam Ruins Everything on the Old West, please do. Cowboys sucked. And I don't mean sucked in like they were bad. I mean the job sucked.
Yeah, it was so bad.
They gave it to immigrants and like slaves because nobody wanted to do it. You know
Yep.
who actually had a great job back in that day? Prostitutes.
That's
Prostitutes ran
money.
everything.
everything. Oh
You
my
want
God.
power in the Old West? Become a hooker.
Oh my gosh. I want to watch more westerns. I know as a kid I did, and I can't. They're all jumbled in my head as one big conglomerate film of people shooting each other.
The other reason I picked it is because this one was heavily referenced in Logan, the last Wolverine movie, and I was like, I don't understand any of the references. And now that I've seen it, I need to go back and watch Logan because obviously it's probably better.
Yeah, it's the only movie we watched that had some fun color to it.
It did have color. It also had my favorite edit, which made no sense. There's the part where the guy's walking across the bar.
Yeah.
And then that gets about 2 steps, cut, and he's on the 3 feet in front of where he was. And I was like, why didn't you cut that? Why didn't you just have him walk?
Yeah.
Like, what happened in that 3 seconds that you had to make a weird
you wonder if
teleportation?
I think he's like, oh, edit that. I didn't mean to fall over.
Yeah. No, it was the only one in color.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the only thing that's wrong with this movie, like super wrong, is the title. When I saw Shane, I went, oh god, the movie's called Shane. Just Shane.
To be fair, it is definitely about
It's about
Shane.
That's what it is. They're not wrong. It just doesn't excite me in any way.
Yeah. So the worst part of this for me was the editing. There was just editing issues. My favorite was like they shot like the scene. They like shot one of the scenes outside the house, and they're like looking up in the sky, and they go, "Oh, storm's coming!" And then they cut to some storm clouds, and they cut back into the bluest fucking sky on the planet, and the sun's like beaming on them. And I was like,
Come on, guys, please.
And I know they didn't have the stuff they have now, but I was like, this is the 50s. You could at least get something.
God.
I also looked up speed shooting because they always have the like fastest gun in the West. I was like, what is the actual? It's 200ths of a second. There is a video of the world record holder shooting 2 balloons and reholstering his gun faster than you can blink.
Holy crap!
It's absurd.
That's really cool, actually.
I was like, holy damn.
Oh my gosh. I need more horse movies, though. I want more movies. What's the last good horse movie you've seen?
Hidalgo.
Hidalgo. You're right. There it is.
I think Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit. Was Hidalgo before? Yeah, it's probably
No,
Seabiscuit.
they were about the same time.
Which I thought I spelt wrong, but it's literally spelled Seabiscuit. I didn't realize that.
Yep. It's literally.
Ooh, yep, 1 year. 1 year.
Let me see if I can find one that I watched recently that was better. 50 best horse movies. Oh, War Horse. No, War Horse was freaking great.
Yeah, never mind.
Holy crap! Yeah.
Okay.
What am I saying? Spielberg,
No.
God, freaking
There's
masterpiece.
No one has to make another horse movie. I lied. That's the be all end all of horse movies. You never.
Yeah.
No horse will want to act after that.
It's also an incredible play.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Puppetry.
Why have they not made an Air Bud spin-off about horses?
About horses.
I want a horse that plays Greco-Roman wrestling.
I want a human that plays basketball.
It's called Space Jam. They made it.
Oh,
We watched
okay.
it.
God dang it! All right. Shoot, I watched both of those movies.
I watched oh my god, the second one was not.
Second one's the biggest cluster of anything I've ever seen.
I don't know what they were doing. And that's sad because I watched Trainwreck and LeBron's genuinely not terrible.
No. It's just, man. Man, this is our longest podcast. My brain feels empty. I know it's because it's a little hot up here.
I want to point out, I wrote classic Shane about 6 times in my notes and realized I don't know what any of that means because I've never seen this before. And at the end, I was like, that's my catchphrase now. Classic Shane.
Classic Shane.
Classic Shane.
You know, man, do what he does. Befriending a family, you know.
I also liked how Alan Ladd sounded like Cary Grant and everyone else sounded like a community theater production of Oklahoma.
Yeah, they really did.
He's like, I'm a good Western cowboy. And they're all like, you done did that, dude. You got it right there. Yes, you made it.
Oh my gosh.
There were so many. I made so many. I'm gonna tell you right now. By the time this was over, I was not drunk, but I was very close.
Oh my gosh.
And I was which was nice because I literally was crying my ass off through the ending.
Yeah.
Like I was supposed to, but like yeah, it just.
Ooh, did not expect that.
They make this. I realized that I hate westerns because they make this like super romanticized cowboy ideal of like. Yeah. Oh, you're this tough guy who rides around and does good deeds and then rides off in the sunset. And I'm like, no, he's a hobo who shoots people.
He's a hobo, yeah.
That's his whole thing.
Same.
It's a homeless person who shoots people, and you call him a hero. You know what they called. I watched a couple of news things where they said a hobo who shoots people is a criminal.
He's a crackhead.
Is a menace to society.
Bring it back.
I genuinely though want a western where the white hat, like the guy, white hat, black hat, for those
I know what you mean.
May not know, white hat turns out to be, we've been following the bad guy the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's doing stuff in town, and then at the end he just like walks into a bank and like kills 5 people.
Oh
and you're
gosh.
like, oh shit.
Oh,
this is the outlaw. Oh my god.
I thought he was helping people. He was just wanting to kill people. He's just a murderer.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
So
Woo!
much. We did it. We made it.
Yeehaw. Wow. 8 films. I don't know if I want
8 films. We're not doing 8 the next time. We already decided that.
I'm gonna pick my 3 today.
Great.
Send them to you tonight.
For those, I picked movies. So I picked movies Vincent Price dies in. Specifically, has to die in the movie.
Yes. Cannot die outside of it.
Cannot die later. Cannot be alive. Cannot fake death. He has to be dead. So that's where we're going after this. Mostly because I just was like, I wanted to keep doing Vincent Price movies.
I love Vincent Price, so it's great. It's me too.
All right, are we good? I got the line.
I think we're good. You got the line. You got the line. I'm chilling. I got the line this time. I'll get one next time.
That's all I got.
Why did it take you so long to say? You said like 50 words.
Have you not watched a silent movie?
No, I have.
That's what they do. It's like this impassioned speech, and then it's like, "Damn it, Ted!" And that's the whole one.
Yeah, I guess that's
for those at home. For those just listening, I wrote "suck it" on a card and raised it up after acting like I was in a silent movie.
Oh my god! I keep forgetting we have
This is a podcast. We are so bad at podcasts. I was genuinely like, maybe we just cancel the Podbean subscription and then just make this a YouTube thing.
YouTube. I don't know.
If this stops showing up at some point in the future, go to YouTube and try to find it. We're there.
People like, I don't want to see your ugly face. Keep it on.
Anyway, that's all I got.
I love you.
Love you.
Let's go watch somebody die 6 times.
Let's go watch Vincent Price die a lot.
I'll talk to you soon.
See you later.